Man, here we go.
It's not bullshit, okay? It's real talk, it's facts.
Oh, what you got? You got right there. Right? You got it. Yeah. You got me? Come on. Come on, baby. Jack, look at that Jack. Look at that Jack. Hold on. I didn't cut. There you go. Another one. That's another one. That's another one. What's that? What's that, baby? Come on.
But yeah, he blood kissing.
Look at that. No, come on. Come on. You know. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's another one. That's another one. Come on. You got me? That's another one. Let's follow.
That's right. Yes. We are back. Welcome back. Shout out to my man Halliburton doing the AKA Reggie Miller in the garden. We have that, baby. 1, 2, 3. If you tuning in, give us the choke sign, baby. That's right. Welcome back. As we saw my man. Shout out to my man Bozy Ennis. That was a couple years ago. But that's my favorite fighter's dad. But that's what we were showing. That depiction, ladies and gentlemen, is what took place in Madison Square Garden yesterday. That's what Bozy Ennis was representing, the Indiana Pacers. And that youngster, everybody had that youngster was supposed to whoop a 65-year-old idiot. And guess what happened? That Indiana Pacer idiot. Ennis did that to the New York Knicks. But shout out, welcome back to another edition, ladies and gentlemen, of Debate with Bake, coming to you live from Mo Serious Studios here in Missouri City, Texas. That's right. Welcome back. I am your host, Mr. Charles, a.k.a. Debate with Bake Baker. We back at it. Back to the Sports Center of MoSerious.com. Check us out at MoSerious.com. You can check out other episodes. And we back at it. We sorry we had to miss you last week, but just in case you ain't know, we was under a little bit of weather here in Houston, but we back. Thank God everybody is good. Some areas of the city still don't have power, but it's still a great day in sports. Because the week before that, it was a Monday, a blue New York Monday. And today, it's a brown Indiana / Alexander Usyk Monday, baby. That's right. We got the upset of the heavyweight division. We raining on Cole all day. That's right. It's raining. It's raining. I am so delighted to be back. I know this is a long intro, but I've been waiting to fire this young man up. But let's get him in here. Let's get the other man in here. My co-host, one of my co-hosts, Gerard, a.k.a. Cole, Mr. New York City. Hopefully they stand proud. But what's going on, Cole? I see you still got your New York hat on, so you still, you look tight over there. Your face look all tight and pulled in,
Happy Monday, everyone.
You see him? You see him? Can we get a hand clap for that, Chuck? Boy, this is, hey, I tell you what, that's a perfect depiction of what's going on in the Big Apple right now. They tight. They tight, but check it out, man. We gonna let my man breathe.
We're gonna say we proud of these New York Knicks, man. What team do you know in the NBA is playing with, a bench as their starters and makes it to the second round and goes 7 games and makes the city proud? And we still love them regardless. So shout out to the New York Knicks for an amazing season. We have a lot to look forward to next year. My expectation is NBA Finals. I don't think there's a better team in the East than us. We want to see the Pacers. We want to see Miami next year. We're going to sweep both of them. Or we're going to beat them in 5 or 6. It don't matter, but I want to see both of them. They're the 2 teams that knocked us out the last 2 years. Both of them can't see us. But shout out to the Pacers. I'll give them their props. My brother-in-law, if he's listening, you were right. Whatever, they will win. They should have won. There was no reason for them not to win. That being said, let's go Anthony Edwards. I'm rooting for you, man.
Yeah, here we are. See, and here's the funny part. I'm going to point this out before we bring the other host on, but it's like, usually, ladies and gentlemen, I get more energy, more laughter. There's more easy energy. But right now, I'm sensing a lot of tightness coming from the boroughs. But it's all good. It's all good. We all can't come in here happy. When my team lose like that, especially when they get embarrassed on their home court, and I had to listen to this guy for 6 or 7 months tell me we going to the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's all good, man. It can't rain forever, like my man say. It can't rain forever. But anyway, let's get to the other codes. Let's get to Larry, a.k.a. Ro. What's going on, Ro, man? We down here in H-Town. We feeling good, ain't we? What's going on, Ro?
Yeah, that's what we do, man. We out here living life and paying bills, man. Talking shit and swallowing spit with my brothers, man. That's what we do.
That's right. That's right. That's right, man. Ro back in with us. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down. But everybody, look, call in. I ain't been doing this, and my producer, shout out to Chuck, man, the hardest working man in the podcast business. But Chuck reminded me, man, that I'll be doing a terrible job of shouting us out, making sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us. We need to get these likes up. We see y'all watching. We see people comment, but we need to keep this thing going. So like and subscribe. And you can also call in at 281-969-8190. Again, you can chime in. If you want to get in on these conversations, we welcome you. Call in at 281-969-8190. And we are the Sports Center of MoSerious.com. But let's get into it. Let's give a little underdog fantasy. We got the playoff games coming up. We're going to bring Chuck in for his session. Let's go, Chuck, man. We got a couple of games coming up. We got tonight off, but let's get into it.
Yeah, it's going down, man. I'm actually excited about basketball this week, right? Just for the fact that this that time of the season where we get finals. And so we're going to alternate from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with Eastern, Western, Eastern, Western, Eastern, Western. So with that being said, Cole, good to see you. Tap in with you. I feel your low vibrations, man. We gonna keep y'all.
Oh, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we getting on Cole, but it's all good in brotherhood, man. Check this out. Cole will be officially in the building next week for his first official episode of Debate with Bake. That's right. Let me say it again. Maybe I wasn't clear. Cole will be here, right here, sitting next to me and Laro and Chuck. In the building, in the flesh, New York versus Houston next Thursday. We got a special edition episode. Right now, we might say Thursday, might be another day, but he will be in
not
H-Town.
this Thursday, but the next
Thursday. Yeah. H-Town next Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Next Thursday is in May the 30th, I think, something like that. But Cole will be here. Yes, this will be the first episode you will see Debate with Bake podcast where you will actually see Bake right here, Roll right here, and Cole sitting right here in the studio. We're excited about it. Please call in. My man will be here from New York. He will be in Mo City in Houston next week. We will do a live episode, so we need y'all here. But let's get back to the underdog fantasy.
All right, so tomorrow, man, 7:00 p.m., we got Indiana at Boston, game 1. Right, game 1. So let's pick 2 players. Let's pick one player from each team. We can keep it real simple. And we'll do both game 1s. So from Boston, who y'all like from Boston? Jason Tatum,
Brown will always show up.
Yeah, I like
Jaylen Brown. Okay,
Brown is more consistent.
Yep. All right, so let's look at Jaylen. Right, underdog fantasy. They saying that Jaylen gonna do higher or lower than 24.5 points, which is basically 25 points.
I
Higher
think
or lower?
5 points for him.
You think what?
I think he'll get his 25.
Think Jalen good for 25?
Yeah.
That rope got the head not going on. You think he higher?
A little higher.
Okay, what you think, babe?
Man,
Y'all think
Indiana-
about
Indiana don't play no
31.5
D, is the
points,
thing.
31.5 in points plus rebounds.
I'm more of the combination. That's what I'm more of. Because I listen, like I can't. I'm a little reluctant unless it's something like if it's Ant Edwards, yeah, points. You know, because he been doing it. If it's Bronson, I'm always for the points for them guys because they're always going to do it. I don't know. Even though Brown is probably the most consistent out of Tatum, I prefer to go with the combination. But majority rule, if y'all think he can get that 25 points,
You think he good for a block?
Who?
Jalen.
I think he go for a steal before a block.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
So okay, so they got a lower here. Y'all think he lower than 1.5 steals?
Lower. 1.5. Like
So
that's
basically
two steals.
Basically 2 steals.
Yeah, I don't like 2. I give him 1 for sure.
I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna look at his
Look,
last.
they got a higher right here. They betting. They got a chili pepper next to the 1.5 steals for Jalen. Higher.
So Jalen Brown's last game, he scored 11 points. Damn.
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather do the combination, man. Like I'm not with the let's set on 25.
You think he's gonna have more or less than two rebounds in the first quarter?
He'll have 2 rebounds. I think he'll have 2 rebounds in the first quarter.
I'm out on that. I'm just telling you. I don't mean to be the hater of the bunch, but I'm with the combination of everything.
Let's go with the combination.
Combination, 31.5 points and rebounds.
Because see, Derek White do so much dirty work there that it's hard to say.
How many rebounds did he have, Cole?
Last game.
Derek White?
No, Jalen.
Brown had, I'll tell you right now, 1 second. I just had it open just a second ago. Go to the next one while I pull it up. Hold on.
All right. And so other than Jalen Brown, who we want to do for the Pacers? Halliburton, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Either him or Siakam. They the most consistent to me.
All right, so let's see here. We got access to both of them boys. We'll pass.
I'm staying away from Miles Turner.
He had 4 rebounds last time.
Yeah, 4.
Jalen Brown had 4
Jalen Brown had 4.
rebounds.
Oh, okay.
Tatum had 10 rebounds and 9 assists last game. And
I'm
25 points.
I might go with if we go with
How many assists did Jalen Brown have?
Let me go back. Jalen Brown had.
Look, go ahead, Carl, and then I'm gonna say what after you say.
He had 7 assists that day.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm not touching Brown unless it's combination. Majority rule.
No,
If
I
we
got a
go-
combination right here for
If
you.
we go points, I might ride with Tatum depending on what it is.
So check out this combination. I think this one might be a safe hire. 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Jalen.
9.5 rebounds plus assists.
That's a
I
total.
I like it.
That's a total of
I like
both,
it.
right?
That's a
I
total.
like
Went back another game. He had 8 rebounds the game before his last one. He had 27 points that day. And he had 1 assist.
Damn.
So I think we either do points by itself or points and rebounds.
What they want for Holiday? What they want for Drew?
Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I ain't looked at Drew.
Because see, Drew will give you a combination quick.
Go
Okay,
defense.
so
Go defense with Drew.
Drew, we got 10. This is probably good money right here. 10 total on rebounds and assists.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
He had,
Drew
12,
Holiday.
he had 12 the game before. He had 16, 7, and 5.
I like that.
So Drew on the combination.
On the combination
I think
rebounds and
so.
assists with 10.
I
It's
like
just
that.
because Tatum and Westmacott, especially Tatum, they so inconsistent.
Mhm.
Got Drew on the combination here, 2 blocks and steals. I think it's
I like
safe to say
that.
higher than
I
that.
like that. Yeah, higher than that. I like that. I like that.
That's cool. What
I
you
like
think,
that.
Cole?
Which one? Drew on what?
On a higher on the 2 blocks and steals.
I like the first one y'all said, the rebounds and assists. I think that's doable for him. And
I
the
think
way-
higher on that one too.
and
I
the way-
think I'm fine with either one of them.
they ain't never gonna shoot 70% again in their life. So God chose that day to give them what you call it.
So you gonna go points and rebounds
I'm
with
gonna go rebounds and assists with Drew Holiday.
Okay, all right.
10. We're gonna go higher on that. All right. Let's give me somebody from the Pacers. Let me come back up here to Halliburton.
I say either Halliburton or Siakam.
And so with Halliburton, I'd like this one. We go another combo. 12.5 in rebounds and assists.
I wouldn't do that. I'd probably look for points and assists with him.
Points and assists. Let's see here. They got
points, rebounds, assists. I like that odds right there.
I like this one too. 32.5.
I like that.
Rebounds and assists.
I like that.
I'll take that. That's been what he's been
for
them in the playoffs.
And honestly, I would probably take on Turner. I'll probably take on him either 2 to 3 3-pointers if they offer.
So, but on this Halliburton joint right here, 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Y'all think higher or lower?
I say lower, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm leaning towards lower.
I say lower.
He is going to be playing against David and Drew guarding him.
Lower than her. All right, let's jump.
So he definitely gets about 10 assists though.
Western Conference.
Go to Turner if you can see Turner. I know his 3-pointers is going to be.
All right, here we go. Dallas versus Minnesota. This game is Wednesday. So we did the Drew Holiday bit and we did the Halliburton bit for the Eastern Conference. Western Conference. Who we been on? Luka and
scored 28.5. I got him on that.
Yeah, I think that's light work. Luka 28.5 points higher.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. What about Kyrie?
AE? Wait. Who's his matchup?
That's the thing. That Minnesota play defense.
Man, everybody, he scored that on everybody, regardless.
I mean, it's a safe bet though, bro. I see what you're saying because I'm kind of like, Minnesota been shutting down.
I'm talking about game 1. They gonna lay an egg, man. I'm telling you.
You don't like
think Dallas gonna lay an egg in game 1?
I think they're gonna lay an egg, man. I think.
Where's it at? Is it in Minnesota?
It's in Minnesota.
Who else is on? I get what Rose saying. Though.
Yeah, who's holding?
Go Kyrie Irving then. I think Kyrie gonna get.
Right, look at Kyrie and see what he got because that might Rose
got
a
Kyrie
point
around like 24, 25 points after the half because Kyrie don't get going till
that's
the third anyway.
That's the only thing. He only do nothing until the second half.
21 points. He'll get 21 points though.
For the game, yeah.
Kyrie will have higher than 21 for the game.
Okay, do that more in the third. Do that more than Luka because that's 28 points. I mean, if they can make Joker uncomfortable, man.
Yeah, I think this is safe. Higher than 21 points for the game.
You feel me? They already experienced. Is the Joker Serbian too? You know what I'm saying? Like I think them Serbian boys in a little bit of trouble with Minnesota, man. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, let's see here. Let me see if I can find Joker on here.
We just waiting to expose boys. I'm not lying.
There's just so much of the momentum is Minnesota right now. And Dallas been out. I always worried about them being rusty when they have to sit out. Like
y'all ain't got Joker over here
because he gonna be matched up with McDaniels.
No, they done, Chuck.
No,
somebody for we did Kyrie. Oh, AE.
I was gonna tell you I would give what's his name 2 points and what's his name 3 points in that first quarter that they had for both of them.
So who is that for who?
For PJ Washington, because he's been hitting a lot of threes in the corner. He gets those on a regular basis. And then I would give for what's his name 2 points, the slasher.
Okay, so they go PJ right here.
Yeah, to give him the 3 points for the first quarter.
Okay, higher than that. So you think he'll go higher than that?
I think he'll go higher than the one below him. The what's his name? The small.
Is that Hardaway?
Josh Green.
Keep going. Underneath, lively underneath him.
Oh, Derrick Jones.
He gonna get.
Oh yeah.
You think he good for 2 first quarter points?
Yes,
higher than that, definitely.
Yes,
he's starting now.
He's starting.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And he's
even if he's not though, he getting significant minutes though. 2 points, he definitely. I mean, he get that off athletic.
He getting the bucket.
Yeah,
he's Dave McDonough. He's a glue guy, but he got that bounce.
All right, so let's see here. We got Drew Holiday higher than 10 rebounds and assists. We got Tyrese Halliburton lower than 32.5 points.
Now, look, is that the only bet we can do on Indiana? Because Cole said something about Turner with the threes.
I heard that about Turner. We can put one more.
Cole, you want to do that? The Turner threes?
For 2 threes?
Yeah, threes, I do. I actually think he's going to get 3.
Turner, let's see.
For the whole game?
And he's going to get 3 for the whole game.
That's not bad.
Miles Turner.
Porzingis still out?
Yeah, Porzingis, I don't think is going to be back.
And they
If
have him
they,
at 2. I
Yeah,
definitely take
1.5. Yeah, this is definitely the higher.
Yeah, take
all
that.
right, let's do that. Let's do the turn then too.
All right, so we go higher on that. You reach the maximum numbers. I got to remove somebody. Okay, so I'm gonna remove. We'll keep the Drew Holiday.
I would take Tyrese. I just was iffy about Tyrese.
That 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
He had some games against the Knicks where he had like 16 points. But then again, it is the Knicks defense.
I mean, and the Turner is the safer one on
Yeah.
that.
Just don't like the matchup with Holiday. And
Yeah.
Holiday I'm gonna give. It's
that
gonna be
right.
So we'll remove Tyrese pick then. Bang. All right.
Yeah, I like this.
There we go.
Well, y'all have it different. Y'all could flex it so that if you get a couple right, you still get paid.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing the standard though because I've been trying to cash out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I just put up 5. We're gonna play for 50. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Shout out to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals going on this week. Make sure y'all tap in, and if y'all making bets out there, do this for us, man. Tap in, hit us with your parlays, hit us with your picks. We'll compare them with ours, and see if we could all make some money. And again, Underdog Fantasy, y'all really need to pay us for saying that. With that, back to you, babe.
Exactly. And just to add to that Underdog Fantasy, if y'all want to come on the show, y'all can definitely call in too at 281-969-8190. Because at the end of the day, we are making money for y'all. But if y'all want to come on and have a conversation, let's get on the show. We're a sports show. You know what I'm saying? Let's partner up. Let's link up. You know what I'm saying? We put y'all label at the bottom of our screen. You know, we get a little sponsorship. Hey, when this train start moving, don't try to get on. Don't say I didn't warn y'all. All right, let's get into it, man. We got a lot to talk about. We are definitely not going to get to all of this. Sometimes I put this stuff in here and I go crazy, but let's go straight to the Chicago Bears situation. I think that's the more exciting story going into the NFL next season. All right, so we got a true or false question, and we'll start with you, Cole, and we'll go around. On paper, the Chicago Bears have the most talented offense in team history. Right now, and what we're looking at is Rome Odunze, wide receiver, finished 2023 with 89.5 receiving grade and led the nation with more than 1,600 receiving yards. Number 2, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. And so, as far as the offense, is it, Cole, true or false? And tell us why you believe what you pick. Is it the most talented offense in team history right now on paper, or what it could be? Go ahead, Cole.
Is it the most talented offense in team history? That's a tough one, but I have to say right now because I can't remember them having such a dynamic quarterback. And I think quarterback is the foundational piece of any offense. And when you have someone who can evade the pass rushers, who could run a little bit, pass a little bit with accuracy, and have a little bit of swag, and actually, impact the game with even mediocre receivers, I think they're going to be better.
Right. And you just answered the next question I put under there. And you basically answered what you believe. I said, is Caleb Williams the most talented quarterback that Chicago Bears have had in history? And I think you answered that. I think you agreed that it is, right?
By far.
All right, Ro, what you think? True or false?
Yeah, I'd say that was true. I would definitely co-sign that. For the simple fact that with such an overwhelming receiving core and a talent at quarterback like that, like Caleb, it really doesn't matter who the running back is, because the only way I can differentiate is like thinking back to the Sweetness days with Walter Payton and them and those
85
those crushing Bears. Then that was who, Jim McMahon, and who God knows who had received.
And that was a more of a defensive oriented
right. They look more like the
yesteryear's
teams. But yeah, I think the ceiling is high for those guys, man. I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing a lot, and they've been in the weeds enough. They've been lying in the weeds long enough, like the Poe Apple. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, the Poe Apple. I like how that sounds. Yeah. My bad, Cole. Not quite the Poe Apple. That wasn't a shot. My fault.
It was kind of indirectly a shot, but go ahead, Cole. You was about to say something.
One of them sneak distance
about them is that when you think about I could throw out any NFL team out there, and I'm pretty sure you could name one of the best receivers, running backs, and so forth. But now that you say it, you think about Chicago and you think about offense. There's only 2 players that really I remember, and that's Forte at running back And then it's the what's his name? Devin, what's his name from the punt return.
Hester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hester.
Outside of that, I can't remember who was a standout receiver outside of DJ Moore recently.
Wasn't
Like,
Brandon Marshall out there?
Yeah, but his stint
He was a
wasn't
wash there. He
right.
was kind of washed up
It
there.
wasn't the better part of his career.
who?
Marshall.
Wasn't Brandon Marshall out there just for a second?
Yeah, he was out there just for a second.
But he wasn't productive. He wasn't a Brandon Marshall that we remember at the peak of his powers. That's why I put this here, because when I really think about it, even if you go back to that 85 Bears team.
Wait, who else played on that team? No, that Lovey took to the Super Bowl that year with Hester.
It was mostly like Cole
It was
said.
Hester.
I want to say it was Hester and Forte that kind of ran that offense for them.
And they had a great defense.
Right. And that's why I'm asking that question.
Cutler wasn't the quarterback, huh? It wasn't Jay Cutler,
It
was
was Cutler.
Whoa, went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but the defense was stout.
Whoa.
And Cole, wasn't Urlacher there? Was that in the prime of Urlacher?
Yeah.
So you got to remember, they've always, and that's why I put this topic on here, they've always been a defense-first organization in terms of successful years. But let me ask you this. Let me put both of y'all on the spot. Let me go with Ro this time first. Ro, at the best of this offense and the best that we're forecasting now as far as the Chicago Bears, what do they look like record-wise that you would think is the ceiling for them this year? And do they make the playoffs with that?
You know what? I'd say on the high side, they can win 9 or 10 games this year. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Minnesota's taking a step back. They got a lot to sort out. Green Bay is going to really push them for the division. And then I forgot about Detroit. Now, I mean, Detroit's going to be there as well. So there might be a little more parity in the division. But I think 8, 9, 10 games, you know what I'm saying, on the high blast. Yeah, I mean, my expectations for them are pretty high because I think the kids' learning curve is really, steep. I expect them to catch on quickly. I expect them to be prepared, and it's going to be a lot like we experience here in town. Odunze is a different type of receiver than Tank Dell, but it's going to be a similar pairing like CJ and Tank Dell paired up here, where the league isn't going to be quite ready because there's not much film on them yet. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to take a lot of people by surprise before people catch on. But Minnesota's going to take the back seat and end up probably finishing last in that division, in my opinion.
So, Cole, what do you think they look like best case scenario? What you forecast? If the Bears can look like what you think, what we're forecasting now, what do they look like record-wise to you?
I think they'll be third in the division. I think Minnesota will finish last and they'll finish third, but I don't see them even beating Green Bay or Detroit yet. I think they're light years ahead with having complete rosters. So I definitely don't see them beating them. I can see them beating Minnesota a couple times and then winning some non-divisional games. I got them winning maybe 6, 7 games at max.
So y'all both say about the 6 to 7, maybe 8, 9 range. All right, so Cole, let me ask you this. His best game, let's forecast it a little bit again. His best game this year, what does he look like yards-wise and completion-wise? And I'm asking you to step out on a lot with this. Let's talk about Caleb Williams. Let's talk about his skill set. Well, let's not get specific into that, but what does it look like his best game this year? Paint us a picture.
I say
yards and production. The best he
can. 350 yards, 3 TDs.
Okay.
And a win.
Does he turn it over a lot? Do you see him having a lot of turnovers this year?
That I don't know. That depends on how much they throw the ball. I think a lot of times where coaches kill quarterbacks is that they throw the ball too much and don't run it enough. And I think they have a decent run game. I think that if they stay balanced and let him control the game, and if he gets hot, let him pass a lot, I think they'll do a lot better. So I could definitely see his best game being 350 yards, 3 TDs, maybe 4 if he's lucky, because he does have DJ Moore and the kid from Washington on his team. So I think he couldn't put up some crazy numbers. So,
bro, what do you think?
I bump him up 50. I got him easily up over $4. It's a pass friendly league, and then with the receiving core that he has alone, I expect him to try to add out and score a little bit more. I think it's going to be it's going to be a good steady mix of what we're accustomed to with they got a nice, decent run game, but it's like they're going to have to open it up because it's like the other teams in the division, teams are airing it out. And like I said, Caleb's potential is high, and I can see him easily slinging for $4, 400 yards easy. Maybe maybe a 3-by-3, 4 scores in the win, and as far as turning the ball over, no more than anybody else. He's seasoned. I think he took his I got my SC on, man. I got my USC on today. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they straight. They'll be straight.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both of y'all in the sense that I do think, first of all, I think they're going to be successful anyway they go, because I think anything from last year, I think they'll be better than last year. Now, as far as better, how much more better they'll be from last year depends on what this kid can do. I can tell you from a talent standpoint, I agree with you both. I do believe in this first year he has the talent to get a 300, 400, maybe even multiple 300, 400-yard games. The only thing that worries me or kind of has my antennas up for this kid is that what I look at as far as his ceiling, and I agree with y'all both in terms of, and this is what I'm looking at when y'all both say 6 or 7 games, a 300-yard game, a 400-yard game. I'm thinking about that Heisman campaign. That Heisman year, to me, if he can duplicate some of that in the league, now that's people gonna say, well, that's college. But I'm saying as far as what he did that year, how creative he was, how he was able to improvise, and he's a heck of an athlete. It goes along with both of you saying about him being able to have a 300, 400-yard game, maybe even multiple. What I don't like is this past year, what he did in college. And I think that could be the downside. And you better believe that most NFL teams are looking at what took place this year. Now, USC, to Caleb's credit, the defense wasn't that good. We understand that. But it just looked kind of suspect this year when things weren't going his way. He didn't look as good as he's supposed to look. Now, most quarterbacks do that after their Heisman campaign. They have a down year. I have a high respect for this kid, but I'm not going to lie. I do expect some NFL blues coming into this first year. So I'm going to say, like you guys say, best game, 300, 400 yards. But if we see that if adversity hits him hard, if he responds like he did this year, I don't know. Because I'm looking at, and I'll ask y'all both this question, then we'll move on to the NBA playoffs. But what I saw this year is when things didn't go well, his body language didn't look good to me. Yeah, his body language looked suspect to me. And I'm saying to myself, that's the year after the Heisman campaign. That's when everybody's game planning for you. Being a number 1 pick in the NFL draft, we talking about him highly, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are talking about him highly. The NFL could be looking to lick their chops against him because he's a highly anticipated, highly talented quarterback. So I don't know. I don't know. I know the talent is there, but I gotta wait to see. Because the NFL, they're gonna hit him in the mouth. It's not like he's somebody that's sliding under a radar. That's all I'm saying. Everybody, they got this game marked on their schedule. The NFC North, even though it won't be one of the better divisions in the NFL, it's going to be a tough division. He's going to have a learning curve. And I'm trying to think about, if you an NFL defense, how do you play him? Like, what would you do against him, Cole? Seeing what you've seen with his skill set, how would you game plan for him just fresh out of college? Just briefly.
I think I play a base defense to see what he's capable of before I start showing him a lot of stuff. Originally, I would have, if it was someone of, let's say, a Zach Wilson's caliber, I would blitz a lot. But with this guy, I actually think he's NFL ready, like on some Andrew Luck type of quarterback who could come straight from college into the NFL and really be an impact player. So I definitely would have to throw small little new looks at him on the defense just to see how he responds to it. But I'll play with a base defense and see if he could beat that. And then if he starts to beat that, that's when I'll start implementing blitzes and different zone packages and things like that. So,
Ro, based on what you've seen, what would you do if you was game planning for him in the NFL?
Similar. I would run a base defense at him, but heavy on the blitz packages just to see how he would react, just to see if we could kind of spook him into what's going on. We'd have to really just dare him to see what kind of decisions he makes, split decisions. I think he'll react well. I think he's NFL ready. However, Justin Fields looked ready. A lot of boys look ready. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it could be the second coming, or I think they seasoned this one right. I agree with Bake. I don't like the body language. I don't like that he packed it in. He kind of carried himself as if he was the presumptive number one the entire season. And that says a lot to me, because it's like with you starting your organization with the quarterback position. It's like if you build most organizations traditionally, he's got a lot to learn. He's a new leader, but it's like I experienced different things. I mean, we just had CJ, and this kid said all the right things. Whenever pressed about it, he gave the right answers. He thrived under pressure. Some are built like that, some are not. And that rookie year exposes them all. So I'm eager to see, to be all the way honest. But yeah, I'd run that base defense, blitz him a little, put a little bit of heat on him, try to collapse that pocket, see how he moves his feet, see how calm he remains in the pocket before it breaks up. I'm eager to see what he does. I'm eager to see what he does.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of y'all. I do think you start off with that, with the basic package. We'll see, man. The kid, the upside for me is the kid. Like Cole said, I agree with that statement. I think physically he's NFL ready in terms of his natural talent, his ability to improvise. That's what I love about him the most. That's what's NFL ready for me out of any other quarterback. And I mean, this is not a real, competitive quarterback draft when you compare him to other quarterbacks. But I do think his ability to improvise, his ability to make plays when things break down, I think that's so key in the NFL. You cannot be a pocket passer strictly unless you were CJ Stroud. And let's just be real. CJ Stroud is an exceptional quarterback in terms of placement of the ball and being able to get the ball out, but he's ahead of his years on that. You don't see a lot of young quarterbacks do that. CJ Stroud either completes a pass or he throws it away. He gives his team another possession. You don't see that in young quarterbacks. The thing about Caleb is he has the ability to improvise, but can he read different defenses? How does he respond when he gets hit in the mouth? When things don't go well. Like I said, I didn't like the body language last year, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's get into it. Let's get to the big stories. Everybody been talking. It's set. Eastern Conference, NBA playoffs, Eastern Conference and Western Conference championships are set. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference Finals matchup. Of course, the Indiana Pacers versus the Boston Celtics. Indiana eliminated the New York Knicks in New York yesterday. Boston took care of Cleveland a couple of nights ago. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about this Eastern Conference Finals matchup. Let's start with you, Cole. All right. Obviously, you have a little bit more emotional. How can I say? You're a little bit emotional about this, and rightfully so. They beat your home team on your home court, and I do think y'all are still the better team. I think y'all lost that series versus what Indiana won. Okay, if people understand what I'm saying, I think New York blew that series. I think New York is the better team, and I think New York has the better plays. But shout out to Indiana. So now we have the Pacers versus Boston. I think game 1 is tomorrow night. If Chuck called it, yep. It's in Boston. All right, Cole, let's talk about it. What's your pick and how do they win? Give me the series breakdown briefly. Who wins how many games? And how does that team win?
I will say it's going to go 7. I'm going to say why it's going to go 7 is because Porzingis is not playing the first 2 games for sure.
Great point.
I think in addition to that, I feel like Pacers are underrated. They really do move the ball. It reminds me a lot of the Phoenix Suns team, the way that is like hold the ball for 7 seconds or less offense, but no one holds the ball longer than a dribble or 2. And I think that benefits them when it comes to playing against a team like Boston, who plays good man-to-man defense, but the man can't move faster than the ball. So I definitely think that they have a grab. And they have shooters at the right positions. It opens up the floor. Like their center knocks down threes. Their power forward knocks down threes. Their power forward is very versatile in Siakam. Their point guard he's one of the best passers in the NBA. And they have great defenders. I will say they do have great individual defenders too. And I think sometimes Boston loses focus. There's a lot of times when they're playing and they treat a game like it's okay, we'll just make it up on the next one. And I can see that happen in a couple of games. So I'm gonna say 7 games. And I'm gonna go out on the limb and say that I could see Boston dropping the ball on this one. I can
So
see.
you got Indiana. You got
I'm
Indiana.
going with Indiana. I see Boston dropping the ball on this one.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting because I will admit that I have underrated Indiana as well. But let me ask you this: I do, I understand you make a lot of good points. I do. They did catch me off guard. They do move the ball well. The thing I question about Indiana is where does their scoring come from? That's why I thought New York would beat them. Now, I do think New York lost because of injuries. I do think you all ran out of gas. Um, I just think that things just didn't play well. And I told you I was concerned about Bronson, the amount of offensive load that he has to do for you. I just feel like, you guys are the better team, but I do feel like injuries ran out on you guys. Now, let me ask you this. Is there something that you saw in your series other than the ball movement? I'm going to put you on the spot again that tells you that Boston is definitely going to struggle with other than the ball movement? Because I didn't see anything in the New York series other than the injuries from New York that tells me that they're going to flat out just beat Boston.
I say the first round they played
Well, hold on. Well, let me say this, Cole. Was there anything, and maybe this is a better way of saying it, I don't mean to cut you off. Was there anything that they did, meaning Indiana, that you didn't account for in your series that you could see if Boston overlooks or didn't account for it, they could beat Boston? Maybe that's a better way of asking.
I think their ability to shoot, and their ability to up their level to the team that they're playing against. I didn't think that they had another level, and I didn't think they would respond to adversity the way they did. But the fact that they lost the first two games when they could have won the second game against us, and then we also came back and took the lead in the series late again, and they didn't fold, and they just kept on coming, playing their style of play, being consistent. And they never switched their style of play to anybody else's style of play. They consistently push the ball, pass the ball, shoot the three, cut. There's always motion on their offense, and that's hard to defend. And I don't think that the other thing that makes me think that they're going to win is that I don't think Boston's actually played anybody, to be honest with you. I think that when they played Cleveland, you played an injured Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
And you played
Short
players who were good in their role, but no one can individually score and do their thing. The difference is with Indiana now, you have a center that's going to pull your center out the lane like Horford or whoever it is that's going to be playing on the back end has to come out and they have to play that pick and roll. And when you have a center and a power forward who can play the pick and roll and shoot the shot, and you have point guards and shooters on the end and on the which in the corners, and then you have a six man in Connolly come in and play that type of pressure defense. I can see them definitely taking Boston 7 games and beating them because there's something about Boston where they don't play hard all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They think they can always turn it on and turn it off, and I think that's where they're going to fall short. Is that if they lose one of these first 2 games, I'm promising you they're going to lose the series.
And the chat is good. I mean, great breakdown, but the chat is killing you. Shout out to George Simpkins. He said, "Question of the night: Did Cole cry?" They're taking shots at you, man.
It's all good. We New Yorkers, we take it. We understand that we were injured, so we know for a fact ain't nobody in the East going to beat us when we healthy. So
right, and I was telling Roe off of air. We'll get to Roe's his analysis next on the Pacers and Celtics. But I was telling him, Cole make a good point. I was always hard on Randall, but I could see why now you say they need Randall. Mm-hmm. They could have used an extra hand, and I worried about that with Bronson. How much? I mean, I think in the Philadelphia series, they did a pie chart. I was telling Roe off the air, like percentage-wise, I think he accounts for like 80% of you guys' offense, whether it be shooting or setting up other guys. So I was wondering that. So now I do understand what you're saying. When you do need Julius, you need that other scorer. But Roe, let's get to you. Pacers versus Celtics. How does it end, and how does that, whoever you pick, how does that team win this series?
I'm going to take the Celtics in 7. But basically, I agree with everything that Cole was saying because the most surprising thing about Indiana is just their ability to flat out shoot the rock. Mm-hmm. They are all 3-point killers some kind of way. And then the glue guys, the Nimhard, I forget the other little kid's name.
Neesmith.
Neesmith, Nimhard. They're glue guys, and they step up big, and they have another gear that I didn't think they had being a team this young. And I don't think they can gut it out because, like I said, Boston's Achilles heel, just like Cole said, is just their lackadaisical nature. Sometimes they're going through the motions. They did this all year, mm-hmm. and I just really didn't realize it because I didn't watch Boston all year. Not a Boston fan, frankly, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But
Neither am I.
but but I do think that this is gonna be their year to go ahead and go back to the finals, which makes me worry because they've got revenge on their minds from that Warriors debacle a couple of years ago. So I'm hoping that fire doesn't get lit. But on the same token, they are depleted without Porzingis, and it's a slightly different look. But Boston lives and dies by the three, and that might be their Achilles heel in this series because I think pound for pound, Indiana shoots the ball better than Boston cumulatively. You know what I'm saying, in terms of what they're doing.
I definitely get what y'all both saying. I think y'all both make great points. One thing that I'm hearing from both of you guys, and feel free to comment in on the chat and call in at 281-969-8190 if you want to get in on this. I do agree. I do agree to Cole's point. I do agree with the fact that he says that Indiana, what they showed me in this series is that they will not get out of character. They will stick to who they are. They won't play anybody else's game. I still think New York lost this series. I think New York lost this series, and I do get what y'all saying about Boston being lackadaisical. I'm going to go with Boston. I think Boston is the better team, and I know I sound crazy because I still think the Knicks were the better team. And I'm probably going to be at the end of this, if Indiana wins, I'm probably going to be eating crow because I'm picking the better team again. The Porzingis injury does hurt Boston a lot in terms of depth. But I just believe with the talent between the two young stars, I think they'll get it done. And I think if the two young stars are what they can be, which y'all are both make good points, they don't show up at times. But I just think it's too much talent for Indiana. I don't think Indiana has enough defensively to stop Boston. Um, I think the East is just for Boston's. I think the only team that could have challenged Boston to me was the New York Knicks. I thought the Knicks would match up well.
A healthy Knick team.
Yeah, a healthy Knick team I thought was the best chance of beating them in a 7-game series. Again, it's a 7-game series. Do I think Boston will lay an egg because of the lackadaisical performances y'all are both talking about? Yes. I think the talent level is too high. Now, where the Porzingis injury comes into play with me is if they get to the finals. And what I mean by that, if they play Minnesota or Dallas, if they don't have that depth against either one of those teams and the lackadaisical performances by the two superstars, I definitely think they can get beat in the finals. But I'm going to take Boston. I know I'm doubting Indiana, and I shouldn't. I just think Boston is more talented. All right, let's move to the West. The Dallas Mavericks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's start with you, Ro. Who you got and how?
All right. Well, we already know, man. I rock with Marvel. I rock with the Ant-Man. Man, that's how it goes. It's like they really showed me that Game 7 the other night. Man, the sky's the limit for those kids. I mean, it's really good for basketball in that the team defense, the team concept has been revamped and refreshed with these kids, and you can tell the attitude's contagious. It's all around the locker room. It's all in the interviews and the press conferences and the way they handle the media. They having fun out there, and they having fun doing it the right way. They locking boys down. Mm-hmm. It's the next man up mentality. I mean, they don't have the injury. I mean, they're staying healthy. Everybody is just drinking age. I mean, those kids are serious. Don't get it twisted. I'm a Dallas fan. I like Dallas, and I can wishfully thinking this series goes 7. Hopefully sooner. I mean, because the sooner the better. I really want this one for Minnesota, to be honest. I think that Minnesota winning it all is better for the league and better for basketball in its totality. But yeah, I think just hard-nosed D, locking it up, a consistent effort, and everybody coming into their own. Dallas's front line just can't quite handle the bigs in Minnesota. That's really what it's going to boil down to. Cat is going to come alive. You think Cat came alive the last series? Cat's going to show out against Dallas and Dallas's bigs. They just don't have a solution. And then this will make Rudy Gobert's maternity absence a little more excusable. Like I said, sorry, Rudy. Shout out to Rudy, man. Defensive player of the year, man. I'm just digging at you, my boy. But look, yeah, this ought to be your coming out party, man. Western Conference Finals, man. You ought to do something.
Cole, who you got and why?
I got Minnesota, even though I kind of don't want to go against Kyrie for some reason. I just feel like he's like the Robin to Batman, but he just knows how to take over games at the right moment. But the reason why I'm going to go with Minnesota is because I just feel like they're more balanced. I think they have a true center who can rebound, block shots, and change the game. Defensive Player of the Year. You have a stretch four who can also play the five and add versatility. And then when you bring in Reed in there, you could play them both together, and you have two versatile bigs who could score inside and outside. And you possibly have the best up-and-coming player in the entire league with Anthony Edwards, who plays defense, who wants to play defense, but can't no one guard one-on-one. And then you have one of the best defenders in Daniels that I think is going to give Luka a hard time, because Luka's a little beat up right now. I think he's going to give Luka a hard time. And honestly, I think they have the better bench as well. I think Conley and Mikal and there's another person that comes off their bench, but I think they just a lot deeper team, and they've been challenged more by playing the tougher team throughout the playoffs as well. And I think that goes a long way, which is another reason why to go back to the last team where I said the Pacers, because they've been challenged. I don't think Boston's really been challenged. And I think that Mavericks with this one, I feel like, yeah, OKC was a challenge, but it was a different type of challenge. They're a real young team, still finding their way. I feel like Minnesota has found their way. And they're dangerous because they have perennial all-stars with Cat and Williams and their center. And Conley is one of the best point guards to ever play the game, to be honest with you. And he don't get enough praise for that.
Ooh, I don't know about the Conley. I like the respect, though. I like the respect.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
think about 15.
I'm gonna say he's one of the more underrated. I don't
Underrated. I'm not gonna say. I would say most consistent.
Because see, that can add to why y'all lose so much. Those kind of breakdowns that you say. You know what I'm saying? Because if you say he's one of the best of all time, that means would you take him in?
Put it like this, because I think that we're taking credit away because he doesn't have the big name, but we can name several point guards in this league right now that hasn't done what he's done, from the Grizzlies all the way to the T-Wolves. We can even name Kyrie Irving. When has he taken the Cavs to the playoffs, or the Brooklyn to the playoffs, or any of those teams? Conley has done that wherever he's went. Conley has always been one of the best point guards who takes care of the balls and get people involved. He might not score 25 points a game, but if you go throughout his career when he was with the Grizzlies, he was always giving you somewhere between 17, 18, and 8, 9, 10 assists.
Hold on.
He had Zebo.
Yeah, they didn't go.
I mean, listen. I'll give you a case in terms of
Utah with Donovan Mitchell.
I give you a case in terms of I'll ride with you. I mean, and I know you very emotional right now. You deserve to be emotional, but at the end of the day, I'll ride with you on him being one of the most underrated. I'll say underrated guards maybe of all time, but one of the best. I think we're having a little bit of Halliburton choke.
He carried a Greg
post-traumatic, I think we're going through a little bit of do we need to show the clip again? Show the clip again. Yeah, I think we're going through a little bit of that. And you see Reggie in the background and Spike. Sometimes that can cloud your mind. I will ride with you on him being one of the most underrated. I do believe it.
And consistent.
He is consistent. But you said that the words and the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, and go ahead and like and describe on this episode, because this will and can be rewind. He did say one of the best point guards of all time. I didn't make that up. Again, hysterical.
I probably use my words a little bit wrong, but
let's be there.
I will say,
I
will say, you can go across history with some of these point guards that we rated as some of the
most underrated. He's one of the most underrated guards. Yes, I agree with that, because again, he didn't get a lot of credit in those Memphis years. They had a great. In fact, we talking about Memphis. They were strong and they played defense. They kind of mirror a little bit of this Minnesota squad, how grimy they are. They didn't have Anthony Edwards, but how they played.
George, I didn't say he's top 15. I say he's one of the top. And top means over the years. I'm 40.
I mean, we'll give you a chance to fix it.
Let me ask y'all a question real quick. This is based on the previous show we had, right? Similar conversation. Y'all, you taking Conley over Chauncey?
CB, big shot?
Yeah. I'm not over Chauncey, but I could say he's been more consistent. Chauncey didn't become good until later in his career.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be real. Like his first,
I can't get
Okay, remember the Johnson conversation?
Yeah.
We kind of realized
Yeah,
that he wasn't what it was.
But see, you gotta understand
no,
this.
but let's be real.
When
His
you do
first,
this signal in New York, it takes you to
no.
different.
I could be honest and be real. His first few years, he was a number 4 pick, and he wasn't playing up to number 4 status. He
All right.
wasn't even playing nowhere close. He was considered a bust almost until he went to Denver, and until he went to Detroit.
Oh.
To be honest with you,
He was considered a bust.
I would say the first part of Conley's career was way better than the first part of Billups' career. I think Billups,
Colorado. I don't know. Big
That's
shot.
up for debate. That's up for debate.
He earned that nickname a long time ago.
I mean,
man.
listen.
while y'all talk about,
I guess, all right, but yeah, because I mean, we getting a little bit. Why did you even bring that up? Because you gonna send him off. You know what I'm saying? And see, this is what he has to do to try to make his argument. That's why they call it debate with bait, because he finna give a debate. Okay, but you see, you be putting the D-batter in his back. And shout out to the chat. George Simpkins say, "Whoa, Conley not even top 15 point guards of all time."
15. Neither is Billups though.
But Billups has more of a case. Billups in the Hall of Fame. Do you think Mike Conley's going to the Hall of Fame?
Not without this chip coming up. Well, I mean, not even speak to him.
Do we hear the crickets? We don't have
You don't have to have a chip to be great. We can look at. So could I ask you something?
All right.
Billups better than Marbury?
Was Billups better than Marbury?
Better than Marbury.
Now that's a debate, but he did more.
His career.
His accomplishments were more.
Was Billups better than Rod Strickland?
That's a debate. He did. He accomplished more.
So when it comes to Hall of Fame, no Hall of Fame, that it all depends. It's time. Was he better than Mark Price? I could name a lot of players that may not make the.
I mean, that's up for debate. But again, if we talking about Hall of Fame, you always say this. It's subjective. But all I'm looking at is accomplishments. Okay, the man was a Finals MVP. He just got into the Hall of Fame. You know, I don't know. Marbury's a debate. Mark Price is definitely a debate. You know what I'm saying? That's subjective. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I will go with you in terms of him being one of the more underrated. I think he has been passed over a lot, that people do sleep on him. But I don't know. Because here's the thing. You're not going to like this. You're not going to like this. And I don't even know if it's, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone. I was going to say something.
I could take it in.
He's probably kind of like, you remember how Terrell Brandon was in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Where he was good?
Or Cleveland, Minnesota.
Either one. He was good, but he didn't get the recognition. That's why I say I could put Conley with Terrell Brandon in the fact that because Terrell Brandon played in the 90s when it was Kevin Johnson, Penny Hardaway, John Stockton. There was so many other guards that we talked about more, but Terrell Brandon was right there. Tim Hardaway, all of those guys. But Terrell Brandon got slept on. I could say the same thing about Conley in the 2000s. And the late, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he got slept on. I do think he's one of the more underrated players of all time. I give you that. But as far as top 15, I don't know. He doesn't have the numbers or the accolades to say he deserved to be in the top. You know what I'm saying? Now, underrated, of course. I give you that. He
was part of that Greg Oden team, what you call it? So everybody kind of attaches that,
right?
Attaches
that Ohio
him along
State,
with
right?
With that bus. So it's like,
right.
He wasn't a bus per se at all, but he ended up being a gym because,
like Cole, I'll give you this. Mm-hmm. If he's put in a better situation, maybe we're talking about him more. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I felt that about Rondo. Rondo didn't get his credit until he was on that championship team. But I felt Rondo was good. He just didn't get it because he didn't have a noticeable superstar until the latter part of his career in Boston. I think if you switch Mike Conley around with a couple of people, yeah, he gets more recognition.
I'll just go through his stats a little bit. His first year, 11 points. Next year, 13. Year after that, 8, 9, 12, 16.
See what I'm saying?
Like he's his impact on the game, the way that he was a leader and missed a big shot because he hit big shots. But
that's what I'm saying. If you put him on a team with if he played with a more decorated superstar, he would probably be getting the recognition you saying he deserves.
Like, nah,
Yeah, like right now, he's gonna get if they win a championship, he's gonna get so much credit that he probably should have got in the first part of his career.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Terrell Brandon in the 90s. I felt Terrell Brandon didn't get a lot of credit. There was so many great guards, but Hardaway, Ron TMC, Kevin Johnson, the Phoenix run, Mark Price with the Cavs couldn't get over Jordan. There was a lot of point guards in the 90s where it was like Terrell Brandon kind of got forgotten because his team never really did much. Did they go to the playoffs? Much like Conley? Yes. But did they do anything significant to where they can make you talk about Terrell Brandon like he probably deserved to? I feel the same way about Mike Conley. The same way. If he's on a different team, I think we talk about him more.
Does he have an all-star appearance?
I think he does.
Maybe one.
I think he might have went with
Maybe
that Memphis
one.
group. He might have
him and
went with
Zebo.
them. Yeah, I think him and Gasol was down there
He
too.
even had a 20-point season.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got a valid point in terms of him being underrated. I think I'll go with you on that, but top 15, I don't know. If it's
I never said top 15. That's George Simpson.
You did say that. You did say that. You did.
One of the
yes, you
greatest
did.
of all time.
You did say
I think he's
that.
one of the best, but of all time, that's subjective. That's saying I've seen a lot of great. I think Mark Price is one of the greatest of all time.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
I'd agree
Mark
with you.
Jackson is one of the greatest of all time for what they did for the game and the era that they were in. I think that we got to look at when we're discussing this. We got
again. Can we go back to the Mark Jackson? That's a little bit of New York bias. Let's do the choke sign. In fact, from now on, when we get too greedy in New York, we're gonna do the choke sign, okay? Because Mark Jackson is probably one of the best New York City greats. Yes. But all right, let me get my analysis, man. You got me going off on Mike Conley. I'm with y'all. I think Minnesota does this. Number one, I told Chuck this a long time ago, and I tell a lot of people. For me, Dallas, your best player, doesn't play defense. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? Number two, hear me out on this. And this is, I've been talking to Coach Trey. Shout out to Coach Trey Austin. I agree with him on this. This Minnesota team defensively, reminds me a shade of the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. The way they played defense. Jordan, Anthony Edwards. What is that? I can't think of it. Is it the Richardson kid? I can't think of it. What's the other kid's name?
Daniels. You mean Daniels?
McDaniels. Mm-hmm. He's got a Scottie Pippen vibe to me, man. Defensively, he's got a Scottie Pippen. I see Scottie Pippen playing point guards and pressuring them all the way up the floor. I'll take you back to Scottie Pippen in the 91 finals against Magic Johnson when Scottie Pippen was pressuring Magic Johnson up and down the floor. That was an X factor in that series. The big guys playing defense. Say what you want about Longley. Say what you want about Bill Winnington, a three-headed monster. Say what you want about Dennis Rodman. They all play defense. They didn't put the numbers up. And I think this group even puts numbers up better than that Chicago Bulls. But I'm saying defensively, these Minnesota Timberwolves remind me of the 90s Bulls. The way they pressure, the way they rebound, the way they make superstars uncomfortable. I always say this about great players, Cole. I say this about great fighters, too, in boxing. You cannot stop them. The best thing you can do is make them uncomfortable. I told y'all in the Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford fight, it was whether or not Terrence could knock out Earl or if Earl could make Terrence uncomfortable, because I think Terrence is a great fighter. And Earl wasn't able to do that. I feel the same way in basketball with great players. You're not going to stop them. This is the first time I've seen Joker uncomfortable in a series. And what I mean by that is Joker is a pace player. Minnesota, with the length and speed and the way they guarded, they sped him up. Mm-hmm. They sped him up. That's what I see in Minnesota. Because for me, I still thought Minnesota was going to lose because of the playoff experience of Denver. However, I have not seen this kind of defensive prowess since the 90s Bulls. That's just my opinion. Defensively, to see a young team, you see Ant guarding full court. You see the other kid we name a Daniels or McDaniels picking up full court. You see the 2 7-footers. Now, people are killing Rudy Gobert for not being able to, after winning the defensive player of the year, being able to stop Joker. Who the hell can't stop Joker one-on-one? But what they are able to do, and I told Laro this off the air, Karl Anthony Towns, even though he was in foul trouble, is still their best post defensive player. I don't see anything. I don't know what Dallas is going to do if Minnesota brings that same defensive intensity. I'm basing it strictly off of defense. Do I think Dallas could outscore them a couple of nights? Of course. And my heart is with Dallas because for the first time in his career, I think Kyrie is on the right team, the right situation, around the right people. He said it in the media. I'm just around the right people right now. I'm pulling for Kyrie Irving. But when I can throw 6'6", 6'7", 7 foot, 7'2" at you defensively, and these guys don't have to play defense. They don't have to do that. I just think Minnesota is primed to win the West, man. And I think if Boston, I'm picking Boston, I think Minnesota's a problem for Boston too.
Mm-hmm.
Big problem.
I just think defensively, man, they remind me so much of the 90s Bulls, the way they lock up.
I actually want to see them win it all, man. I think it'd be good for the league to have someone so young like Edwards do it. I think.
And I like the fact that Edwards, we have, and what's good about this Edwards thing is, John Morant is sit back saying, I was him, where the league was handed to me. John Morant's going to come back. He's going to want that because that was his spot before Edwards was doing what he's doing now. So John Morant is sitting back and saying, I had that. He's going to be coming back next year. But we are back to celebrating a two-sided ball superstar. We are finally out of the James Harden era. We are finally out of the Stephen Curry era, the specialist era. I just shoot. I just score. We are back to players playing both ends, the Jordans, the Ewings, the Elijah ones, the two-star super player. I mean, the two-end player. And so I think it's great for the league. The more that they win, the way they kind of win is great. I just think Minnesota is on a – and the thing about it, it's not a run. It's not like they're hot. Mm-hmm. It's a style of play while they winning. Like some teams, you'd be like, they got the momentum offensively, they look great. This is all going. It's how they're playing while they're winning. It's how they're playing. Like, and it's a good sign. Like, it's for them to do what they did. I mean, Denver last night in the second half, nobody other than Joker looked comfortable offensively. Nobody.
And he didn't even look comfortable the whole
exactly.
time.
And he was pressing. Mm-hmm. They can throw 3 7-footers. And God bless if anybody got a Nas Reed coming off their bench.
What's so crazy is
it's unfair. I mean, it's unfair. You got a Nas Reed. Nas Reed can start. Anyway. I love H-Town. Anyway. Nas Reed can come down here right now and be our best player. Yeah. Right now, the way he playing. Easily. And we probably could make the playoffs if he was on our team.
By Jabari.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just think the way they're playing, man, it's crazy. All right, let's get to...
Before I want to get off of this and we'll get into an ad, let me ask all three of y'all this. I'm just curious to hear how y'all feel about what's next for the Thunder, right? Because they took that loss to the Mavs. Right, and it was at the buzzer. It was a like they almost beat them boys. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I go first. The thing for me about them is that they got nothing to hold their heads on. Now, for me, what the Thunder's got to do is that it's an experience thing. Okay, you didn't make plays when you needed to make plays. You're young. This is still an overachieving season. For me, it's all about the front office. You keep everything together. And you keep your young core together. You don't let what happened with Durant, Westbrook, and Harden happen again. Mm-hmm. You keep them together because one of the things that they got to learn, and a lot of young teams, and I say the same thing for Orlando. I mean, Orlando's got to do a little bit more, in the house. Yeah. But for Oklahoma City, you got to look at where you were last year. You didn't even make the playoffs. You were the number 1 seed this year. You ran up against a team that just had more experience. That happens with young teams. But as a front office, and Oklahoma City is great at putting these together. They're not great at keeping it together. It's on their front office. You got your guy. You got Gilgeous-Alexander. You got a young core around him. You got a young center. get them better, keep them together. If you can. I know people gonna want more money.
That's where the problem
Thing is,
starts.
but you do the best you can. And as an organization, you have to do everything in your power. You got the coach of the year.
Mhm.
You got to do everything in your power to try to keep. You got to identify your core group and try to keep that together, because it's not
By
a
core
disappointment.
group, we're talking about mainly SGA and Chet.
Well, and the other kid, I can't think of the other
You
side.
have to keep Jalen. You have to keep
Yeah,
Jalen.
you got to keep him. I
Jalen,
think. Yeah,
At least
I
one
think-
of them. At
Yeah,
least
you
one
got
of
to
them.
keep
There's
on.
2-3
Now
of them
you might be able to let Giddy. You might be able to let Giddy walk. I don't know, but you got to keep. You cannot let it happen before. That's what I'm saying. You cannot let 3 superstars, if you can help it, get out of the door. They do a great job. Everybody knows that Sam Presley and all them, they draft well. They draft well. But can you keep it together?
What you say?
Yeah, no, I think I think that the learning experience alone, the learning curve is great. It was a great experience for them to lose on their home court. To be all the way honest with you, especially the way that it happened, because it happened at the end, at the buzzer, just like Chuck said. They grow from this automatically from an experience standpoint, and like Bake said, if you return the core, you good. However, I see the challenge being it's Oklahoma City. As a
Well,
small market team, it's gonna be real hard to keep that team together. In that
it is.
small
It
Oklahoma
is. Let me
City
say
market.
this, and not to interrupt you. Let me say this though, because we could say the same thing about Boston. Like for me, I think Boston. I think Boston is in the position they are in because they hung in with those guys. The best thing you can do for young players as coaches, even if you mentoring, is this. Chuck, as I know, young talented players, I'm telling you as a coach, you need to get rest. You need to come in and get more shots. You winning every night. So you don't know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So when you go and you lose, that's why coach want me to do that. That's what you do with young players. You have to get, and I would prefer, that's why I was so disappointed about the Oklahoma City, the first thing. That's what you want. You actually want them to go through some adversity so they can learn.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
You heard them boy worked out after game 7.
Yeah. That's what
know
you
I'm
actually
saying?
that's
the
want,
kind of stuff you got to do.
because you got to look at it like this. Even if we all, and I don't mean to cut y'all raw, I'm gonna get to you, Cole, but you got to look at it like this. Like with our Rockets here, with the Chicago Bulls of the 90s, Michael Jordan had to go through what he had to go through to get to where he got. He had to continuously lose to Detroit. They had to get battered around. Michael Jordan didn't even lift weights when he came in the league. He kept getting beat by Detroit. He started lifting weights. As a coach, you telling him, Michael, you need to hit the weight room. Oh, man, I'm getting 40 a night. But for young players, you want them to get to that point where there's some disappointment there. That's the best thing you could do for young players is experience, because especially young talented players, it's like
Experience is the best team.
it's the best thing, because I could tell you all day you need to do this, but till you get out there and you get your head beat in, you're like, that's why coach telling me to do that. And that's a testament to Boston. Like for me, I'm looking at Boston like, damn, you paid Brown $330, and he couldn't shoot. But I get it. What the Boston is saying is, we're hoping that what happened to us against Golden State with our young guys, because our young guys know we were the better team that year. You guys lost because you didn't show up. Golden State showed up. Y'all were more talented. So what Boston said was, we're going to keep this team together because we believe that they learned. Exactly. They learned. And so if they get back to the finals, Boston as an organization is saying, we think they learned. And that's what you do with young players. You don't trade them. You let them feel it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mean to interrupt you, Ro, but
No, you good.
that's what I think Boston is doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that's what you do with young players. When you got young, talented players, they not going to listen.
And you see the output.
Yeah.
They are perennially challenging for first in the East.
Right, right,
No disrespect to Cole.
Right.
But they stay up there with their lackadaisical play. That East
Right.
is a dog.
Right.
All right,
I mean, Cole, what you think?
on the Thunder.
I think the Thunder, I think they have the right pieces. I agree with everything both of y'all said. I don't think they need to give up any of the young talent. Maybe you could come off Giddy because I think you can get something valuable for him. Although I love his game. I think he
Me
could fit
too.
on any team. I think he could be a starting point guard on any team. He just sets people up lovely. I think they need a big man though who can really, like a Hartstein or a Robinson or someone who's going to be gritty like a Gobert and do the rebound and the dirty work, because I felt like they're a little soft. And
Yeah.
and I feel like if they could get that gritty person, you got enough. Because I think Chet next year, he should be able to put like 5 more points onto his scoring average and maybe
Yeah.
2 rebounds. I
Like
think
that.
I
Go
think
get,
Jalen's going to
go
improve.
get gritty for the get it.
Yeah.
Getting gritty to get.
Yeah.
I think Jalen can easily, increase his scoring output by 4 or 5 points and improve his jump shot. And I think Shea is going to be Shea. And then they got a lot of nice role players that can just shoot the ball, like Isaiah Joe, that Wallace kid, and their backup center Jalen, the other Jalen Williams, who's a great shooting center. He's someone the Knicks can use is with that shooting. I'm down to trade Mitchell Robinson for that Jalen Williams.
I knew that's why you said that. I knew that's why you said that.
That kid can shoot his lights out, man. I'm like, wow. I think they're in the perfect place. It's just unfortunate they're going to be in the same division as Minnesota. I think Minnesota can run off a couple of championships if they keep that team together because they have a good mix of everything.
And Chuck, you want to go to an ad?
Yeah. We're
All right,
jumping
go
to
to
that
ad.
right now. Yo, rep the movement with Mo Serious Fashions. Copy a fresh snapback or hoodie or a tee. All representing the Mo City Podcast, Debate with Bake, or Gloves Up, Guns Down. Everything is custom made with love from our top-notch manufacturers. We got a dope range of colors and sizes to fit your vibe. Everything from blue, red, green, black, white, and more. Rep the Mo and keep it fresh, fam. Hit up moseries.com/merchandise and order today. Let's go. Men's Fragrance, your home for 100% authentic men's cologne. We carry high-end fragrances like Creed, YSL, Gucci, Polo, and more with below retail prices. All orders come with free shipping. Order online at men's-fragrance.net. Men's Fragrance. Smell good for less.
All right, shout out to that. Go check all that info. So check all of those products out on moserious.com. Get you a fresh fitted. Get you some nice threads. We're gonna tighten Cole up. We still got to tighten up Ro and Shayla, but we're gonna get it going and we're gonna get it going down so we can show it on this show. A lot of good merch, man. I got to get some more, but go to moserious.com, cop your merch. All right, I want to stay within this subject of the NBA playoffs because two things I want to talk about. Number one, I want to confirm if this, Cole, I want to put this on your mind. Is this true? Are the Knicks preparing to offer Thibodeau contract extension? Have you heard anything about that in New York? I've heard, different reports that they could be possibly, offering him $10 million coming up. Is he up for an extension? Do you think, is it true?
He has 1 more year left on his contract, so he is up for an extension. I think they'll sign him back. Knicks, I don't think this is a rush. I might play this 1 year out, and if he does it again, if he could get us out the second round, I'll give him more than 10. If he can't give me more out the second round, he'll get 10 million.
Okay, so
keep him, but I think I might play out this year. There's no need to make a move before you have to.
Okay, so what you're saying is, let's just say, let's go. I'm glad you put those scenarios together. Let's say he doesn't make it to the second round next year. Is that it for him in New York? Do you think it should be it for him?
If the team digresses, I think I would bring in maybe a new voice, only from the standpoint of he might have maximized the talents of everyone on his team, unless they're willing to change the team to help him out and get better, via a different route than his coaching. But I also like consistency. I think the greatest teams have consistency, have longevity in coaches and in front office. So I'm open to him coming back. I actually think he's done a great job. I think he deserves to come back. But I think you can see how it plays out. See if dudes get injured again, maybe he's still over. Maybe he's the reason he's overplaying dudes. If we
Because
get
I want to get into more discussion about that. Let's go to Roe first. Roe, what do you think? You think should they give him the extension now? Should they do like Cole say? Should they wait for this last year to play out?
Well, barring catastrophe, I guess that would be the wiser way to go about it. But I would be more inclined to get him the 10 million or to give him 10 and lock him down long term. I mean, I think he's got a positive a positive effect and attitude. That's it obviously translates to his team on the court, his team's attitude, his team's fight. Because I can't remember him having a job where the team didn't take on his persona, so to speak, to be all the way honest. Before he even got to New
Chicago,
York. Before he even got to New York, he's got a good blue collar, hard work, never say die attitude. And I really dig that about as far as the coaching aspect of it goes. I was just going to boomerang around back to, boy, did y'all let Obi Toppin get out the door, boy. Man, that boy came back home.
The revenge.
Oh, that hurt, boy. That hurt, boy. But yeah, no, I'd probably be a little more generous than Cole. I'd go and try to lock him down early, just as a sign of good faith.
You know, and the thing about it is, of course, when I look at what's going on, with New York, I would say definitely. But you know what? I've always had my vibes about Tibbs, and I always break my coaching carousel, my coaches down into 3 categories. I've said this before on this podcast. Number 1, if you're a bad coach, and what I mean by that is that when you got there, injuries happen, things happen, but the team digressed. When you have bad coaches, you have good coaches, and then you have great coaches. Now, when I look at Tibbs as being a good coach. And the reason why I say that is I think Tibbs, much like, and my Houston fans are going to criticize me on this, much like Bill O'Brien, I think Tibbs, like Bill O'Brien, could take a team that's winning 3 games, possibly win your division, get to the second round of the playoffs. And I think that's their ceiling. That is a good coach. And what I mean by that is, and Tibbs could prove me wrong, because here's the thing about Tibbs. What do they look like if everybody comes back healthy? What do they look like if you get a Julius Randle at this highest peak? If Julius comes back on a revenge tour along with Bronson, what do the Knicks look like? All of us would probably say they're going to look good. But for me, Tibbs, much like Bill O'Brien, much like a lot of coaches, maybe a Lovie Smith, can take a team who don't make the playoffs and make the playoffs. Okay? But what I've yet to see from Tibbs, what I've yet to see from a coach like Bill O'Brien, can they get to that next level where they take a team from the second round of the playoffs? Because Tibbs has done this before, like Rose said, from Minnesota and Chicago. Can they take that team from the second round to the NBA Finals to win a championship? And I'm not sure if Tibbs can do that. Now, what New York has got to decide, and it's New Yorkers are a hard place to play. New York wants a championship. They've got to figure that out. Another factor, and we're not going to get into it tonight, but, Vogel got fired in Phoenix. There's another guy out here that I'm looking at this list where they got fired.
Did they fire JB?
No, not yet. No. It's another somewhere further down. I can't remember. But you also got to remember this. Why I bring up the Vogel fire. Bronson is the face of the organization now. And if Bronson wants him there, he's going to be there. I don't care what we think. This is a players first league. LeBron James has gotten 6 coaches fired because he's the guy. And that's what it is. That's just what it is. We have to accept that Bronson has had his best campaign in New York by far. We got to factor in the fact he gets an extension if Bronson says so. I hate to put it like that, but again, I didn't watch LeBron James get 6 coaches fired And I didn't watch Frank Vogel, who I think it wasn't his fault in Phoenix. I didn't watch him get fired behind backing Kevin Durant. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. It all depends on if the best player wants you around. I could see them giving Tibbs that money because they are winning. They winning, but I don't know if Tibbs is that. That's what I would be asking myself if I'm Dolan and if I'm the New York Knicks executives. That's why I could understand why Cole would say, let's wait and see. Because you gotta make a decision in terms of it. Do we believe Tibbs can do that? Tibbs hadn't shown us that yet. And then not saying that's his fault. But can he take us from the second round to the Eastern Conference Finals?
And consistency, because they
right.
kind of came out of nowhere.
Right? Can he do that?
Yeah.
And in Tibbs' favor, Randall wasn't there. There was a lot of factors
And to add to that, I was gonna say, let him play this year out. Hopefully, everyone's healthy. Sign OG back and see how far we can make it in the playoffs. Now, if we don't make it in the playoffs, we've done 4 years, 5 years, 6 years of Randall. Now we can start saying maybe either Tibbs have to go or we got to remake this team to be, centered a different way, to play a different way around OG and Brunson, and then figure out who we want to be the other pieces around them.
Because a lot of these organizations are making a lot of mistakes. The Lakers. What do you expect? You built your team around Anthony Davis being your number one option. New Orleans knew he wasn't the number one option. Like, I tell people this all the time. Chuck killed me for this, and we're going to move on from this. I tell you, if people think I'm crazy because of the numbers, it is a reason why when James Harden went to Oklahoma City, said, hey, I'm the sixth man of the year. I deserve starter money. Oklahoma City said, no way, buddy. Well, I'll go to Houston. And to me, Oklahoma City knew you don't build your team around that guy. Some of these organizations are going to have to start taking accountability. You fired Darvin Ham for going to the playoffs 2 years in a row. Who are you going to get now? You're not going to go get – because if you go get Mark Jackson, he's going to tell you, I'm not coaching if Anthony Davis is my number one player. You see what I'm saying? Some of these front offices have to take responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep building your team around, like I've said it 1,000 times, you cannot build your team around Durant unless you have a structure like Golden State did. All he wants to do is score points. If you don't have guys that are going to do the things that he don't want to do, he don't want to rebound, he don't want to defend. If you don't build your team like that, you're going to lose. He just got another coach fired in Phoenix. How is it Frank Vogel fault? Like you said about Bradley Beal. Mm-hmm. Y'all built your team around Durant and Bradley Beal. Now I get fired. Darvin Ham gets fired.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
What you gonna get? The best idea I heard by far was them saying, look, man, how about LeBron? You be the player coach.
Exactly. How about you be the coach?
Player coach. That way you fire yourself.
Exactly. You know and the thing about it is, like, what else did you want Darvin Ham to do?
What nothing to do.
So now you sitting around here. This is how ridiculous it is, and we'll move on. You're sitting around here contemplating hiring JJ Redick. It sounds good when he's breaking it down on the podcast. Can he really lead an NBA franchise?
You feel me? He's not necessarily even a Hall of Famer.
And now
the guys in the locker room,
right? And they looking for yes men now. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. Organizations have to step up. All right, we got a lot more stuff. We're gonna move these topics. We got a lot of NBA topics. We're gonna move to next week because I want to get Cole out of here because he be crying sometimes. All right. Let's move down. We got a lot of good topics too, but I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, let me ask you this. And we're gonna get to this next week when Cole is here. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do a special Thursday edition. You know what I'm saying? Chuck says, all right. All right, let's move down. Let's move down to boxing. Because I want to talk about this. All right. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I give Cole a lot of flack for this, but I'm not gonna lie, I took Fury too. But Alexander Usyk defeats Tyson Fury in a split decision, 115 to 112. Usyk 114 to 113 Fury, and then I think it was 114, 113 Usyk. Usyk is now two-time undisputed and joins the company of Cole's favorite fighter, Terrence Bud Crawford and Noah Inoue. All right, now let's go to a clip. Chuck, can we pull up the clip? Because here's the thing about this clip. I've seen Tyson Fury knocked down, and the thing about Tyson Fury, one of his superpowers is his ability to heal and get up quickly. I've never seen him hurt like he was hurt this past weekend against Usyk. Let's show the clip and let's talk about Usyk and Fury, what's next for them. This is big because we now have an undisputed the first undisputed heavyweight champion in 20 years. And what I mean by undisputed, ladies and gentlemen, is that Alexander Usyk now possesses all of the four major belts in the heavyweight division. We have a unified, undisputed heavyweight champion. Check out this knockout, Cole. Not knockout, but knockdown. He should have been knocked out. I've never seen, even Wilder.
Yeah, the ref was wrong for that, though, man.
Look at it. Look at it. I've never seen him like that.
Out on his feet.
Yeah, just
Out
literally out on his feet. If the ropes wasn't there, never seen him like that. Even as hard as Wilder hits. And that's the reason why you can stop it, Chuck. Yeah. That's the reason why I had him as probably the best heavyweight of all time, is that I've never seen anybody get up from Wilder knocking him down. And he got up several times.
Right up.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen Wilder put people out. So, all right. Here's the question I want to know. All right. Shout out to Usyk. All right. Now, Usyk is 22-0 with 14 KOs. He's undisputed at cruiserweight. And now he's undisputed at heavyweight. The cruiserweight is right at the 200-pound mark or something like that. Right above light heavyweight, which I think is 175 to 200.
Does he fight Joshua?
Huh?
Does he fight Joshua?
Well, here's the thing. We're going to talk about that because at the end of the day, to me, I think Fury is the best heavyweight. You just beat the best heavyweight in the world, to me. I don't care what he looked like against Lugano. Skill-wise, I still think he's the best heavyweight. Now, Joshua is coming, but he beat Joshua twice already. People don't know that. Usyk beat him twice.
What about Wilder? What about Wilder?
But Wilder's not looking good. Wilder just lost to Joseph Parker, and he's getting ready to fight Big Bang Zhang. So it really, if it's Usyk, it's either retire or rematch Fury. Really. I mean, unless you want to take on the younger heavyweights, which I wouldn't. Usyk is older. But my question to you is this. Looking at his accomplishments. Now, we're in the era. Thank God we are out of the Floyd Money Mayweather era. Because if we in Money Mayweather era, just like Tank, they never want to unify. They just want to hold on to one belt. You know how it is. But let me ask you this. Within the last year, we've seen three guys undisputed twice. Terrence Bud Crawford, when he dismantled Earl Spence. Noah Inoue, he just became two-time undisputed, I think, last year. And now we got Usyk. Now, Usyk is at 22-0 with 14 KOs, undisputed heavyweight and cruiserweight. Terrence Bud Crawford, undisputed welterweight, which is 147, and undisputed super lightweight, which is 140. And then Inoue, who's 27-0 with 24 KOs, undisputed super bantam and undisputed bantam. That's 118, I think, 118 and 122. Judging by what Usyk did, does he take the top spot in your pound-for-pound list? And I'm just talking about these three. And remember this. All three have undisputed, okay? Consider this. For Inoue, my breakdown is how he did it. How he knocked guys out. For Crawford, it's who he beat. How he beat Spence. Like, that's the thing I put over Crawford. I put Crawford over Inoue. Who's Inoue Spence? Who was the big dog of that division? Now, a lot of people don't know about the smaller divisions, but one thing I knock Inoue for is he skipped. There was he went from 112 to 118. He skipped 115, where it was a lot of killers. It could be something managerial they decided they wanted to do. Terrence cleaned out 140, went to 147. As soon as he got to 147, went on a 10-11 knockout streak. Knocked everybody out at welterweight. Earl Spence at that time was the big bad dog of 147. Earl Spence was walking through everybody, and Terrence demolished him. And then you got Alexander Usyk. Did it in fewer fights than both. Okay, cruiserweight is a weak division in boxing. But when he got to heavyweight, he beat Anthony Joshua twice, took 3 belts, and he turned around and beat the baddest man on the planet. According to Cole and a lot of people think Tyson Fury was the best heavyweight of this generation. Does Usyk win, put him a bit above these two guys, or do y'all still have Crawford or Inoue above Usyk, or whatever the order is? We'll start with you, Cole.
I still have Crawford and Inoue. I just feel like they have a little bit more skill. I've always liked it, and I'm a little biased to the lighter divisions because I feel like it's more of watching like the ballet, the gymnastics. You see some skillful stuff, and unless it's some of the older school cats where I felt like more of the older school cats had a little bit more like Ali, Holyfield were more of technical boxers. Even Foreman to an extent had a little bit of little bit of skill and stuff like that. But I just feel like for me, the Terrence Crawford is full of everything, like defense, offense. He's gonna get you on percentage. He's gonna get you on power, and I just think Crawford is the best out of all of them. But Inoue, I love Inoue. I remember talking about Inoue for season 1. I think he's special, and I'm not taking nothing away from Usyk. I just don't think he has the overall skill set of those two.
Okay.
And I could be wrong. Like you're better, you know boxing a little bit better than me. But
it's subjective, It's subjective. So you going Crawford, Inoue, and still Usyk number 3?
I go Usyk number 3 because you beat Fury. I can't sit here and defend Fury no more. Like you proved to me. And yeah,
that was your man, though. Fury was your man.
The Fury is my man, just like Tank. But you didn't put Tank on this list, so I couldn't say.
No,
Tank
no. We're talking about.
I just know how to get under the
undisputed.
We talking about undisputed. We talking about guys that actually want to unify. Okay, all right.
We care about Tank little belt, man. Tank got his belt. That's cool.
Yeah,
we respect
and there's Shakur over there at 135 that we know he's not going to unify. But anyway, but go ahead, Ro. Go ahead. What you think? These 3, both of them, all 3 are 2-time undisputed.
I put Terrence, I put Bud at the top simply because Bud is Bud, and we still have not seen the best of Bud yet. Bud might do something unprecedented at this point, the way I feel about it. But and I love Inoue as well. I love Inoue as well. Like I agree with you completely. He doesn't quite have a resume because he skipped that division. Mm-hmm. But see, the feat alone, just being the undisputed, we haven't had an undisputed heavyweight champion in
a minute.
I don't know.
Not even in the 4-belt era.
Yeah, not even in the 4. Exactly. Like maybe Lennox or somebody. like way
3
back.
Belts. Yeah,
it's like you got to tip your cap at what the guy did, and then it's like, I mean, Fury, who is arguably a master boxer at that, because I mean, Fury's head movement, the technical aspects of what a man Fury size does at 6'9", 290, however big he is, right. Jesus. Yeah, you can't do anything but tip your hat to that. I mean, in the beat Fury in the fashion that he did, and knock off Anthony Joshua, who is better than decent twice. I mean, the cruiserweight division was that was light work, but at the same time, you can't ignore that part of the resume. And then to go to heavyweight and clean up the heavyweight division in that kind of fashion, Yeah, I'd retire right off into the sunset. I wouldn't even lose my belt. I'd go out on some Rocky Marciano vibes.
And
But
I'm
yeah,
not mad at him. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to unify the heavyweight division alone, that puts him in the top two. I mean, I have to give Bud the top spot just because we haven't seen the best of Bud yet. Bud's gonna go to super welter. He's gonna go. I mean, he might end up fighting at once. He might end up fighting in middleweight when it's all said and done, and still be knocking boys out. So, yeah, Bud's still in my top. He's top dog. But the bantamweight got to take the third seat to the heavyweight, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when it come down to the come down, I got that disconnect, man. I'm 200 pounds myself, man. And like, you take them ropes out, put us in the street. I mop the little dude. You know what I'm saying? Myself. No disrespect. I love you anyway, but you weigh 115 pounds. My kids will. I couldn't go home at night if I let you do that to me, man. So yeah, man. Bud number one. Usyk number two, Inoue number three for the pound for pound guys, man. Tank does not belong on the list. I repeat, Tank does not belong on the list. Sorry, folks. New York.
He might. The thing about it, Tank's case on the list is he has moved up multiple divisions.
But he ain't cleaned none of them up.
He ain't cleaned none of them up, though. You know what I'm saying? Because undisputed is considered to be the highest accomplishment you get in boxing. Like, if you control the division, you have all the belts. And it's only a few guys that's ever done that. That's quite an accomplishment. That's why I always gave Haney so much credit, is that Haney did it at 20, 21, 20, 25 years old, and
had what, three of them? He had three of them?
He had all of them. He undisputed at 135. And so it's the highest. Jermell Charlo did it. Canelo did it. Jermaine Taylor did it.
B-Hop did it?
Well, let me read off the ones. Yeah. So Hopkins did it at 160. Jermaine Taylor did it at 160. Crawford did it at 140. Usyk did it at heavyweight and light heavyweight. Josh Taylor did it at 140 pounds.
Did Roy? Roy got it?
Roy never undisputed. Canelo did it at 168. He's still the champ at 168. Jermell did it at 154. Haney did it at 135. Inoue did it at 118, 122. And Crawford did it again at 147. It is the highest achievement in boxing. I will say this. For me, I can make a case for Usyk and Crawford. For Usyk, he did it in 22 fights. Now, people could come back and counter that and say, well, it ain't that many names out there. Of course he did, but he did it in 22 fights. And he beat the baddest man on the planet, weight-wise, was Tyson Fury. For Crawford, the thing about Crawford is, what's scary about Crawford, and for me, my reason for me putting Crawford number one is we just didn't expect him to do what he did to Earl the way he did it. I thought Earl Spence was a very game fighter. I thought Earl Spence was the best at 147. I gave Earl Spence a lot of credit because he took all three belts. And Earl Spence probably walks around at 175 pounds, 180 pounds, and he goes all the way down to 147. So I thought that was incredible. He always made weight. But to see what Terrence Crawford did, to see him do what he did to a three-belt champion, and he'd been telling us for years that he was levels ahead of Earl and everybody else, But to see him and to move up, and the thing about Crawford, this is Crawford's case for number one. When he moved up to 147, and I can't emphasize this anymore, when he moved up to 147, he won all of his fights by knockout. He didn't win all his fights at 140 by knockout. When he moved up to welterweight, he beat everybody by knockout. That's impressive. So the case for Crawford is how he did it to the baddest guy in his division. But for me, the case for Usyk is I did it in 22 fights. I went up to heavyweight and I only beat two guys, but I beat the two guys. I beat Anthony Joshua twice. I took all three belts from him. And then I was an underdog against Tyson Fury. I beat the baddest man on the planet. And so I can't pick. For me, Usyk in fewer fights for Crawford is the way he did it. So that is what it is. All right. Let's do our shout outs. when we get out of here. I want to give
Hold
a
on,
shout
hold
out.
on. Wait 1 second before you just do your shout outs. I got 2 topics just to stay current. You had one on here that I was really interested in hearing y'all thoughts about. And so if y'all could spin real quick on the big baby situation. And then I wanted to ask y'all, did y'all check out Caitlin Clark versus the Liberty? Did y'all
Well,
see what Caitlin, they lost, but she had a pretty good showing. You know what I'm saying? I looked at her highlights, and so I was curious to see y'all thoughts on that as well.
well, for the big baby thing, he got 40 months for prison for fraud in the NBA for frauding out of 80,000 K in medical benefits. And I got here, Brett Favre also frauded out Mississippi welfare recipients out of 700,000, and he hasn't been charged. Both caught at the same time. So for me, you know, it's silly for him to do this. Meaning big baby. I don't know what he was on.
Cocaine, hell of a drug.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But I just don't like the fact that he's going to prison and Favre doesn't. I'm not excusing the action of Big Baby because I really would like to know what the hell was going on. And then playing with people in the medical field like that. My whole thing is if Big Baby should go to jail, why Brett Favre should go to jail too. Not excusing the behavior of Big Baby, but if he gets that, then Favre should do the same thing. Or if Favre don't go, Big Baby shouldn't go. I don't know, man. They didn't have a lot on this. I just thought it was interesting that one went to jail and another one didn't.
Yeah, I think Favre is the corporate color, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's really the obvious answer in terms of the disparity in the punishment.
Right.
And also, I think it's got a lot to do with the league economics. I think the NBA generates a whole lot more money than the NFL, some type of way, or maybe not current, maybe not right now at this particular moment, but I mean, maybe he pimped his hand, man, and Big Baby blew through a lot of money. You know, shout out to Big Baby, man. All love, man. Like I saw you on the Power.
That's what I'm about to say. You know, I saw him in Power. Like
that boy been
he was
acting.
like the prison guy.
Yeah,
right?
that boy been acting. He got his hands in a lot of things. I don't know how he got underwater where he got the scam in the league, got the stuff, but I also know both leagues, you know, don't show much love. I mean, you know, you join that player association. I mean, after that retirement kicks in, you know, that income changes up. So, I mean, it's inexcusable and it's actually deplorable what Favre did. But we all know white boys get away with everything, man. I just squip. I put it out there just like that. White boy he is white. I'm not even gonna say his name.
And then
You know.
Favre it could be politically too. Favre is a stout Republican. He's come out and spoke
from the state of Mississippi,
right?
You know?
And so he's affiliated with the Make America Great campaign again. But I mean, Brett Favre has been getting away with a lot of stuff. He was addicted to painkillers. He didn't go to jail for that.
He did something. He was sending his dick all over. Excuse my language. Brett Favre is becoming notorious quickly. Yeah, this boy is notorious.
It could be political affiliation. It could be race. You know what I'm saying? But he gets away with it. You know, and at the end of the day, I just hope for Big Baby he understand that.
No, he ain't learned shit. Did you hear his sound bite on what's coming on? That boy said that's the only way they're gonna get him to stop eating cheeseburgers or something extra ridiculous.
He said, "I'm finna come out in shape."
He said that's the only way. They gonna stop me eating these cheeseburgers, man. Like my black.
Well, I mean,
I'm like, damn.
That is a comic relief.
Like,
I don't know, man. For him, I hope whatever he going through, he gets some help, man. Because it's obviously like, if I could talk to him, I would say, listen, brother, I don't know what you've been going through, but number one, you don't have the skin color to do that and get away with it. Like if you learn anything while you're sitting in jail, you need to learn that. Number two, if it got that bad financially, you should have seeked some help. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't, and we don't know all the details. But if it's medical benefits, man, shame on you. You know, a millionaire if you're doing that. But at the same time, know who you are, dude. You know who you are. That's all I got to say about that, man.
Any thoughts on that, Cole?
I just think it's the thing that would bother me more is if he actually did get convicted and go to jail, and then he got a pardon. like That's the part that would get me even madder. Like they just did to I think it was Texas.
The Black Lives Matter protests. You're right.
Yeah. So like it's nothing surprises me in this America anymore, man. Like it's sad. You want to advocate and you want justice, but you're never going to see justice be equally distributed. I even look at the teacher that just recently, and I know he was wrong for letting the girls braid his hair, but then he showed a picture yesterday. I was on IG, and there was a white teacher where they were bedazzling his head. I know it was a little different from braiding hair, a little bit less intimate in some cases to some people, but to me, it's the same. And I just feel like we're held to a different standard, and it's unfortunate. So,
man, I appreciate y'all spinning on that real quick, and I'm gonna get y'all spin on this one here, and then we'll wrap up. Just because I'm cheering for her. I know what she brings to the sport of the WNBA, and I know that she finna help all of the ladies who we support get to the bag just by her presence being there. So I wanted to get y'all spin on what Caitlin did.
I mean, she's doing well.
Because they got the first one.
The thing about it is, I'll comment on this. As far as off the floor,
switch on the screen, smaller Vandersloot defending her, easier to see over Courtney Vandersloot.
They kind of
Just for that reason, they're too deadly from behind the arc.
An 11-0 run for New York. Clark, she got another. Second three of the quarter for Caitlin Clark.
In the history of the league, you might want to get out on her. And then Caitlin, wow, that was a really good. Caitlin coming off of the screen, give her just an inch. She just needs to find a way to get a little bit of space.
Here's Clark turning the corner, lays it in. 10 points in the first for Caitlin Clark.
You'll see it here. Aaliyah Boston just right there. Enough space.
The
Forces
first
the switch. Dunkel Jones a really good rim protector. But Caitlin,
she told us the other day, I know I'm going to get grabbed. I'm going to get chucked. Backdoor. Clark lays it in.
Did she fall?
She loses.
I have a question for you, Baker.
With a little bit verbally.
You work out for about 4 straight weeks, get a little shape, self-trainer.
Hold on, wait till it go off. Hold on. Go ahead.
On a deep three.
Yeah, we could spin. I just wanted to show some highlights because I know that the challenging part about it was that they was on the same time the NBA playoffs was on, and so we all had to kind of make some choices, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna catch
New York laid that egg
on the highlights, right? But I just wanted to hear what y'all had to say about her showing and kind of get some thoughts on that before we wrap up this week.
Well, for me, is everything I expected. For her influence off the court, it's been tremendous. Now for her on the court, I think she's gonna go through the maturation of what NBA stars and WNBA stars go through. The biggest thing for her, it's not going to be her individual skills. It's not going to be her individual performance. What's going to get her in the great books on the WNBA level, because in college, she's one of the GOATs anyway, whether you talk about men or women. Now you're going against bigger, stronger, faster. Can you propel your team to win? And that's going to be her challenge, just like every young superstar. If you think about the maturation of Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan, it's the same thing. You come in the league the first 5 years, you're on that first contract, you get all your individual accolades, MVP, All-Star games. She's going to do that. But can the Fever win? That's going to be what she's going to have to deal with. Much like the NBA superstars. I don't know if you in that same game. I think that was a Liberty they were playing, right? Did you see that screen they set on her?
Oh, that dropped her.
Yeah. It's going to be every night. It's going to be every night. And as much as she's propelling the game off the floor, they are coming for her head. Angel going to go through the same thing. They're coming for her head.
But I like how she responded to it.
Yeah,
she got up and she
did. She did. But here's the thing. Over a period of time, because that's going to be the only thing. That's the only thing she's got to do. She's got to win. She's got to win. Angel the same way. When you bring in this hype in the league is great. But as superstars, can you win? Will we allow them time to win? That's what I don't want the media to do. I want the WNBA to work to protect them to a certain extent. If they don't win after 2 years, don't throw them away because it takes a lot to win. Can her and Angel in this wave, they've done what they've needed to do in terms of getting the game out there. Excellent job. But for them individually on the court, other than stats, they going to fill up the stat sheet. Caitlin going to get 20, 25 points a night. But how does she win? How does she win? How does she get these grown women to win it? That's going to be the challenge. I think she looked great, but again, I've also seen moments where them much like South Carolina. See, and that's the difference. You're going to see South Carolina more on a nightly basis now. The type of athleticism that South Carolina had. Can she get that? Can she get past that? Yes. Individually, she's going to be fine, but she's going to have to learn how to win on that next level. Same thing with Angel. Angel probably will have a little less responsibility because she's not handling the ball. She's basically getting fed the ball, but her influence, Angel's going to be, and that's the way they made these two. Caitlin is going to be the hero. This is America. It's race. Mm-hmm. Caitlin is the white girl. And I'm not hating. I'm just telling the truth. Caitlin is the good guy. She's the white girl from the country that everybody wants to see. Angel, because she kind of represents the urban city girl, she's going to be the villain. Embrace those roles and keep going. But for both of them, can you win? How do you win? You know, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're doing a great job. And I'm a little bit mad about what you said about the WNBA. Don't put them on when the NBA. Don't do that. Don't put them
like
on.
they hurt
because
them.
now it's hurting them. Right? Don't do that. Just put them on when the games ain't on. The finals will be done, and then you push them when the NBA, because it's gonna be dry for us in between now.
Right around June.
It's baseball.
Yeah.
And then it's
Three.
football.
Like I watched Big Three.
Right.
I rock with Q, but to the strength of what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when you push them in the summertime now. You open up the platform, you spend that money that they on major TV. Don't just give us Saturday and Sunday games. Mm-hmm. Give me a game I could do on Underdog Fantasy.
Exactly.
You know?
Or if you was going to play them on the same day, then you got to time it so they right after each other.
Yeah, do a double header and you do one
or here's the thing. Do like you did when they were in NCAA. Do a primetime game on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. You know, the slot that they covered in college. Exactly. Just do right, Bob. That's all I'm saying.
All right, y'all got any thoughts on this Cole that row before we wrap up?
Yeah, no, I'm out for it. I love what they got going on, man. And she's everything is advertised. It's just more of them out there. I hope we're working our way to the point where more of them are getting more pub because I mean, it's a lot of them balling. It's a lot a lot of serious hoops out there. So it's like, yeah, if they would just schedule it just a bit, tweak the schedule just a little bit. I think that it could be they could be on to something major.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with both of you guys. I definitely think that with her coming into to play for the WNBA is gonna have that effect of when Magic and Bird came to the NBA, and then Michael came, and then I think we're gonna start seeing other stars. I think there's another girl left in college that's supposed to be a superstar too.
Juju.
Yeah. So I think when she comes in, it's gonna be different. You're gonna start seeing these advertisements again, where you have a lot of these women like the Mia Hamm type who get on all these Gatorade commercials and Nike commercials and stuff like that. So I think it's only the beginning. You're gonna see her in the Olympics, the Women Olympics, and all these other things. Watch, man.
All right, let me do my shout outs because I got women in here, WNBA women in here. All right, shout out to Las Vegas superstar Aja Williams for getting her own signature sneaker shoe from Nike, which is set to be released in 2025. I think she'll be the new GOAT of the WNBA. Just my opinion. Shout out to Asia. Shout out to my man DJ Samora for signing with Top Rank.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
I call that the Nike Cosmic.
Okay. So it's set to be released in 2025. They don't say specifically.
They almost look like the 95.
Like some 95?
Yeah.
Like, that's nasty.
So she got her signature shoe from Nike. All right, shout out to my man DJ Samora. We interviewed him, me and Cole here on Debate with Bait. Was signing. He just signed a major deal. Shout out to him with Top Rank and is scheduled for a fight in June. Now, I asked him, he said he wants to come back on the show. So I'm gonna be looking to do that within the next 2 or 3 weeks. He wants to come back on the show. But one question that I asked him over on Instagram is what prompted him to go to Top Rank. He decided to sign with Jay Prince. So not only will he be on Top Rank, he will be down here at the Jay Prince Boxing Gym. And he did agree to come into the studio and do an interview when he comes to Houston. So shout out to my man DJ Samora. Roll before you got here, me and Cole, we interviewed him. I met him online, and then when I went out to Las Vegas, he let me go. I watched him work out at DXL with Haseen Rahman, Shushu, and I met Caleb Plant. So he just signed a major deal. He's 26 years
That's
old.
buddy who was sparring with what you call that?
Tank.
Okay.
The guy that was sparring with Tank. I got a picture that I'll have Chuck put that on when he come on. But he's been a sparring partner with Shakur, Devin, and Tank now. But he just signed with Top Rank. Got his first fight on Top Rank June 21st, and we happy for him. But he wants to come back on the show within the next couple of weeks. May be able to get him on Thursday next week. He's training for his fight, but he's signed with Top Rank, signed with Jay Prince. Shout out to DJ for doing that. Shout out to Nikola Jokic for getting his third MVP. He joins the company of the following: Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, and Larry Bird. These guys have all had 3 MVP awards, so Joker is with that. Shout out to Rudy Gobert for winning the 2023-2024 NBA Defensive Player. Again, he joins the company of Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace as the only players to win Defensive Player of the Year 4 times. Shout out to my man Wemby, Cole's guy, for winning the 2023-2024 Rookie of the Year. He joins his fellow Spurs teammates David Robinson and Tim Duncan as Spurs Rookie of the Year. Shout out to Shayla, that's her team. Shout out to Candace Parker, since we're talking about the WNBA, for becoming the new president of Women's Adidas Basketball. And shout out to the New York Giants for being selected on this year's, meaning 2024-2024 HBO Hard Knocks that's coming this preseason. I love Hard Knocks, man. Too bad the Jets ain't on there. The Giants on there. And then shout out to my man Bronson, even though his season ended, for joining the company of Jerry West, Michael Jordan, and Allen Iverson for being the only guards with 5 or more 40-point games in a single postseason. Shout out to my man Bronson, man.
Kobe not on that list.
Kobe might have 4, I think, something like that. But Jerry West, Michael Jordan, Iverson. So shout out to my man Bronson. And they'll be back, Cole.
We'll be back. We ain't been mad. We're proud of New York, man. That we showed the grit, the comebackness of the team, and I'm making words, comebackness. Yeah, I said that right, because we coming back next year. We need to put that bet on there right now for next year that we win the chip next year, man. Because I think that's what we doing next year, man. I think we ready for that. I think we ready for that, man. And shout out to the New York Knicks for being the only team in NBA history to lose at least 4 starters, 5 overall, still make it to the second round of the playoffs, and not make any excuses, play gritty, play 40, 50 minutes a night if needed, and do what New Yorkers do. We survive, we come back, don't matter. This is what we do out here, man. See you next year.
That thing like life, New York, New York.
Shout out to my man Cole, man. We probably, I don't know, Chuck, we probably won't do a Monday show. It's a holiday, but we probably be back. Cole will be here next week. So we'll do the Thursday show.
We'll figure it out, because we got Gloves Up, Guns Down Thursday. And so we'll either do it before that or after that.
Okay.
I get there early, so my flight is I get into Houston somewhere in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I get it somewhere in the morning. I feel like before 10 or 11, somewhere like that. I gotta look for it.
All right, cool. Well, shout out to my man. He finally coming down to the Ace. Well, he been down here before, but he gonna be dealing with us. Man, Ro, you got any shout outs, man?
Yeah, man. Prayers up to Coach Steve Walton and his family, man. They got some stuff going on. So, yeah, prayers up to them, man. Big ups to them. Shout out to them.
All right, cool. Cole, you got any more shout outs?
Nah, man. Not to next year, man. I'm not shouting out no more guys. Ain't nobody I like in the playoffs. I don't care. I like Edwards, man. Shout out to Edwards. Hopefully he wins a chip this year. Outside of that, man, I don't care about the NBA no more, man. Season over. I'm a hater. Y'all let me know how the Pacers and the what you call do, y'all.
And with that being said, man, episode 31, season 2, we out. I don't think we need to say nothing after that, man. My man said he a
Drop the
hater.
mic. Straight
My
drop
man
the
say,
mic.
my man say the NBA season is over with. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Shout out to everybody that was tuning in. Go ahead and like and subscribe on MoSerious.com. Like Debate with Bake Podcast. I don't only like Debate with Bake Podcast, but like Mo City Podcast and go and like and subscribe to Guns Down, Gloves Up with Dr. Johnny Bond and Dr. Kansas Matthews. But like us all on MoSerious.com. Go collect merch, call in, check us out. Make sure you support and get on this train now because when it starts rolling, there ain't going to be enough room. Shout out to everybody, to Chuck, Cole, Roll, myself, Shayla. We looking for you to come back, to the whole Mo Serious cast, staff, and everybody. Shout out to my man Chuck for making it happen. And we out. Debate with Bake, season 2, episode 31. We out. We